This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason, welcome aboard. And what do you have on tap for us tonight?
Well, after ducking out for last year because of reasons, we're back with another buried something of anime or of manga because well, let's just say like I got what I deserved this week when I decided like, hey, it's like I'd rather take the easy, quicker way out from this, something that doesn't require me to stop playing Unicorn Overlord for a second, and wow, that really came back to bite me here because well. Like John, you remember like this anime OVA series from the '90s called Goldenboy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, good memories of like Kentaro Oe being like a big old horn dog trying to get with girls and like teaching them like life lessons as well. And it's like really fantastic English dub at the time too, right?
I don't remember the fantastic English dub, but I do remember that show. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was good. It's one of those series that well, the anime I really enjoyed. I still have it on DVD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Golden Boy was like the favorite of like anime fans of a certain age, for a while back in the '90s,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was yeah,
Well, you could say, remember when things like that were cool. Like,
yeah.
remember when you could be a horn dog. It's okay. All right. So just saying. And then why is that? What do I say it like that? Because it's sort of like
It's not porn, but it
people
is etchy.
people have
It's like
evolved a little
yeah,
bit from that, but I mean, like, it's still to me an entertaining series, right? So I mean, I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. But you're like, yeah, this is fun. Plus, I like the artwork, so hey, how can I say no?
because like they had some real talent behind the OVA series in this. Like the character designer and chief animator for this was Toshihiro Kawamoto, who had like a long history of like like doing quality character work, like in anime from Gundam the eighth MS team. It's like Darker Than Black, Wolf's Rain, and this little series called Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, and it's directed by this guy Hiroki Kitakubo, who done like all sorts of other stuff, including working on like not just Macross, but not just key animation work on Macross, but also on Southern Cross and Genesis Claremont Peta, and also directing like other OVAs like Black Magic, it's like M66, and the original JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series. He's continued to work in the industry, like also like directing like an episode of Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. But this is that basically like this is a series like there's enough talent behind the Golden Boy series to let you know that this is not just like a simple cash in. This is like by talented people who were really invested in Golden Boy's brand of like horn dogginess.
Quite a
And
resume.
yes, quite a resume. And when I say corn dogginess, well, it all comes down to its protagonist. One Kentaro Oe. He is, like a dude who loves the ladies. It's like, love like is definitely invested in trying to get with them, but he's just like kind of like a hopeless dork in that regard. And the manga the anime does a really good job of playing up his just general good naturedness. I mean, he's constantly like on the lookout for new life experiences, like his trademark phrase like study study study. And and whenever he does like screw up, it's like it's really done in a funny way, and in a way that doesn't that's not really mean spirited at all. It's like, I mean, yeah, the girls may not like think much of him like to begin with, but he shows himself to be just like a guy with real heart, and like wants to like do right by them, like more than anything else. So he's a nice guy, and as a result, no, he doesn't get any in the series, but the girls like constantly want him because of his pure heartedness that he displays, like in each episode of the six of its 6 episodes. And also the one thing that the series had that a lot of the series didn't at this time was a really stellar English dub. Specifically, the guy they got for Kentaro Oe was just like the right kind of like excited dork this story needed, and it was just like really, and it was like really impressive just how well this like his voice actor just like nailed this like this kind of like a mindset for the character, like to the point where it's like people like are still talking to this day about how good it is. Like Andre Pena's Midnight Madness like crew director will also swear by like how good the dub for this series is, and and it's also like that's like hearing it talked up on Midnight Madness a while back was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, not because the people said like good things about the manga, but because someone said, yeah, the manga goes right off the rails after a certain point. So it's like, oh, okay, it's like I can get behind that. I like reading about stuff that just goes off the rails, or at least goes into like the realm of like entertainingly awful. Oh dear God! If I had realized what I was getting into here by reading all 10 volumes of the Goldenboy manga plus 2-volume sequel, Goldenboy 2, I would have gone back in time and told myself, no, Jason, just, I mean, because of like, the schedule that we had to adopt for doing this, it's like, I decided to like, take the easy way out and just read all of Goldenboy for this past week. And I'm not like check out the 20-volume series that I was thinking about doing, and we'll still cover at some point, maybe later this year, maybe in the future, buried treasures of manga. At least I hope it's a buried treasure of manga, because right now, like, we are definitely talking about buried garbage of manga. Because oh dear God, it's not just that the Goldenboy anime is like the best version, like of the Goldenboy series. It's the only good version. Don't read the manga. If you hear about Goldenboy and how good it is, just watch the anime. These 6 episodes are like it's like everything good about this series, shorn of everything that was awful about it. Because, well, these 10 volumes, I mean, like they're not. I mean, like the first 1.5 volumes aren't drastically different, because it kind of reads like it's like its creator, mangaka Tatsuya Egawa. He had it's like the 6 episodes were culled from the like from stories in this 1.5 volumes, like because like the stories in the first 1.5 volumes like are classified as lessons, and then after that you get they're being told as studies. So you get the feeling that hey, he was like did like a soft reboot, like from that kind of transition from lessons to studies. And cause the difference is that the lessons are like done in one stories, and like they're pretty good. I mean, like I said, most of the stories, like from all of the stories from the anime, were adapted from this part. And then there are also some bits that involve like Kentaro just being a guy, like doing a like being a like a helper out in the mountains, and just like help like trying to like get with this one girl who is just like like being like like a big old slut with her friends and sleeping with all these guys, and then Kentaro like like help rescuing her after she gets lost in the mountains, and just showing her like, hey, it's like sometimes like you don't need to like have sex with everyone to have a good time. So okay, fine. And then there was this like one time when he like like tries to be a ghost writer for this one like art like a writer, like help show her like she doesn't need to be an awful person in order to like get her like her works done. It's basically like Kentaro being like the good guy, and just like showing all these overbearing angry women that they don't have to be like their worst selves in order to be there, like in order to enjoy life. And it's like maybe that was something that was like more acceptable back in the day, but like, but it's like if you can like allow for that, like like these early stories are fine. It's like it's just like really like horn dogged stuff that involves like Kentaro just being just want to get with the girls, maybe very rarely occasionally succeeding, which is like definitely a step up like other stories of its era, but that's fine. But then, oh god, then when we get into the studies and things start elongating, like he basically Igawa starts telling like longer stories where he like where it isn't just about Kintaro just like showing women like the error of their like angry ways, but also just like get like getting some getting like some guys to recognize the errors of their ways as well, and also just like expanding upon like really weird ass stuff, like like synchronizing like wholeheartedly with your like with your significant other. It's like, or just hey, it's like learning to accept like the other person, like you love banging the other person, which is like okay, so you're trying to endorse like Netarare like stuff for your storyline. Okay, that's weird, and that's kind of like what it feels like is for like like the first major storyline where like Kintaro tries to help this one guy whose girlfriend has like gone off to be with like this mega chad who turns out to be like Kintaro's like old college buddy Masamune Kongoji, and it's like, and at first you think that oh, this like Kongoji guy is just going to be like hey, someone who's like like a very like like authoritarian view of like how things are meant to be, but then he met Kintaro and like and then chilled out as a result. No, that's not what happened. In fact, it turns out that Masamune's like right hand woman, Kyoko Tachibana, well, she's like determined like help her buddy Masamune achieve his goals, but then after like many encounters with Kintaro, she eventually like relents and says, "Oh no, now I want to be like a golden girl as well. I want to go around like studying as well." And like it's like this first arc just like kind of like ends in a very like hey that's it, we're done here type of way, and then it goes on to like Kintaro meeting up with this one girl who's just like taking up with petty thefts like to make her life more interesting at high school, and then she eventually cajoles Kintaro into posing as her in high school because he's just like, oh my god, lady, you're so hot, as he is with any woman, and like he turns her life into like at school in order to into like like a big she's like a big like A-list star. It's like, and she's kind of like hey, this is, and she's kind of like no, I didn't want this. I didn't want to be like like main like like star of my high school, but you've turned me into this like someone who's been respected by everyone. Oh, and also loved by like other people as well, because like Kintaro manages to like get her some girlfriends as like as well, as ridiculous as it is. It's like, oh, and then eventually he like in the next arc he winds up going back to one of the characters from the previous series. Let's see, Naoko, the girl who was the daughter of the guy who was running for a mayor of his city, and winds up, and while the series like focuses on her for a while, and also brings like Kyoko Tachibana for a bit. It's like it eventually like dishes like ditches them and focuses on this other girl who just is like determined to like make everyone subservient to her, and mainly by getting them to drink her piss as a sign of devotion. Yeah, that's where this series goes. I mean, then as the series goes on, it just gets really, really progressively more horny. Like like it is like like I said, water sports are an issue. It's like there's lots of bondage, netarare, it's like like cuckolding, that kind of thing, and just straight out sex as well. Now, I'm no prude, as I would hope that all my years of talking about stuff on the blog and the podcast is go, but Goldenboy is no prison school. It's not even Raw Hero either, because it really feels like a lot of stuff that Agawa was doing here, like with all like the sex and the fetishism, like was just kind of like, hey kids, it's like this is what we like, don't you think this is cool? Don't you think this is hot? This is stuff that your parents don't want you to see. It's just like a really like excessively horny series that that doesn't like do anything with like its presentation of sex. It's not interesting. It's not clever. It's not smart. It's not like with Akira Horimoto's version of like this stuff where he's someone who basically says, I've seen boobs, I've seen butts, I've seen sex. How can I find new ways to do this? Well, you get the feeling that he read Goldenboy and was inspired. Man, this is just like like he made sex boring. I want to make sex interesting. That's where we are right now. And if like in like if the return to it's like not Naoko was it's like wasn't enough. Well, eventually the series decides to jump into a virtual reality simulacrum of Kintaro's college years back before he became like the Golden Boy proper, and introduces us to the girl that made him realize like, hey, it's like life is about more than just like studying like rigorous studying and being like the best that society demands. Like you can just like go and learn whatever you want, starting with sex, and it and like they then like you get to see him like learn everything he could with her, which just is like oh, it's like I love you so much. It's like and so she's like, oh, Kintaro, I love you so much as well. Then they meet. Then Mazumune shows up, and she's like, oh, like he's so interesting as well. It's like, and I want to go off with him for one night. Kintaro, you're okay with that? And he's like, sure, that's fine. And then he goes off to have sex with this one girl because he's so bitter about this. And then but then the girl comes back and she says, oh no, I didn't actually have sex with him, but now I want to watch you have sex with this one girl that you hooked up with while I was gone. And like this happens, and then the series ends. Yeah, that's right. 10 volumes of Goldenboy, and it fucking ends on like a terrible note. I mean, it's a kind of ending that just has nothing to do like with its themes and progression of the plot. It just basically says like Agawa. It's not just like you read like Agawa just basically said, fuck it, I'm done. It's kind of you realize like someone at the mind basically told him, yeah, fuck this, man. It's like, Agawa, you're done. Wrap this up now because we're not publishing this shit anymore. At least that's what I hope it was. I mean, yeah, it's like, sure, you could argue that a series where having a series end where the main character's friends are just like murdered during a otherworldly pagan civilization, and the guy's best like girl is like fucked by his former best friend who's now become a demon and all. It's like you could argue that that's a worst note to end things on, but ending things on Goldenboy just kind of feels like okay, so you weren't even like reaching as high as Berserk, but yeah, you're just like saying like fuck it, I'm done right here, or fuck it, this is like the ending I was forced to like deliver after I was canceled, which I really think is how it is, how I wound up. But yeah, it's terrible. It's like, and reading this is like I was like, oh god, it's like this. Why did I waste my time with this? I had to waste my time with this because I wanted to like keep playing keep playing Unicorn Overlord like for the past week. That's on me right here. But well, it turns out that there's a 2-volume follow-up called Goldenboy 2, which well, I was not looking forward to reading after this. And but the thing is, after I started reading, like, it's only 2 volumes, and so I figured, okay, fine, let's see if he manages to like end things any better. And it's like it does kind of have like a certain amount of fun, like for the first volume, as we see Kintaro just working at a beauty salon and like getting all the all the female employees, the manager, it's like, and his customers enamored of him. And it just kind of recalls like the kind of storytelling that appealed to me, from like the Dunham One stories and like in the anime. And seeing him eventually get recruited by the Yakuza, it's like for his like skills and all, like, and then become like a nationally renowned porno star. It's like, I mean, it's it was silly, but it wasn't like as offensively terrible as like the series ended on. Then Masamune Kongoji shows up, and it turns out that oh no, it's like we are actually going to dive back into the morass of like that was the ending of the original series. That did I mention that like Kintaro's visions of his like reliving his his college years was just like a VR scenario. Well, it turns out that's also what's going on here, and Golden Boy 2 ends up in not a better place at all. It's like it is terrible. It's like it is awful. It's like it is just like it feels like I've wasted my time with this. It's like I read this and even though it's like there are some funny parts here. I do like Kintaro as a character, but Agawa is just relentless rambling about what romance is, what it's meant to be in terms of like studying in life, and just what everyone's supposed to do with that. It's like it's just. I mean, even if like stuff I agree with just makes you go, okay, fine, but just shut the fuck up already. It's like it's just like presented in a rambling, painful, like over the top, like fashion that I just can't care for. It's like and just like made me like like made me just like like lament that I just taken the easy way out by reviewing this series. I know that like years ago like we talked about like buried garbage of manga with like with Wounded Man, but that series by Kazuo Koike and Ryo Ichigami was at least entertainingly awful. Like it's its ways in which it offended were at least like ridiculous and just made me laugh. Like and just like it's like I was entertained by it. Golden Boy's excesses are just more annoying and boring and rambling, and you know what? I can't give it any more time. It's like we're done with this. It's like don't read Golden Boy. I mean, I could tell you where you could read it because like all 10 volumes and plus Golden Boy 2 have been scanlated. I wouldn't have been able to read it otherwise. But don't bother seeking this out. There's so much better stuff you could be seeking. You could be like checking out with your time, and so don't bother with it. It's terrible. Just watch the anime. Just watch the anime, which is available on Crunchyroll, both in subbed and dubbed versions. So just go read that. Just go watch that, and think that hey, that Golden Boy anime is really good. Like seeing about its source material and all. So there you go. John?
Yes.
Okay, I stopped because you weren't there.
All right.
Okay, sorry, because when I stopped talking, it's like I kind of figured, okay, or I'm sorry, I should have said like John.